Right now, I wish I knew where there was a bollock so I could go get the girls. They can have the dope. Just give me the girls. This old mother hunchy can't stay away from the hoes. Hello there, love bugs. Hello there, bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook and or Twitter, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's looky is a package deal. I am now, for a limited time, a limited amount, selling the JT RZA shade and the TT turban together as a package. The price I'm selling them both for is $40. Now that would exclude the shipping and the taxes, but you can't beat that deal. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, look at that thing. Yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. The first time I got in trouble with the police was about a blue box. It had to be 1970, 1971. The studio was just built. A blue box is a thing that allows you to charge your phone calls to someone else. Sounds like scamming to me. You dial a number, and when it rings, you push the button on the box, and the number you're calling becomes your phone number. I can sit there all day making calls and they going to be charging that phone. So you dial an office number, and as soon as you punch the button, they charge all your calls to that company. And they don't even notice. I bought a couple of those. You motherfucker, you. That's why we call you Ickety Ikety, because you got the money, you little devious bastard. Oh, that's a scam. If you guys are of a younger persuasion, you might not understand. Okay, so back in the day, you did not have capabilities of making long distance calls without a long distance service. And in the 70s, I'm not even sure. I know that we had companies like MCI that had long distance service, and you would pay it monthly in order for you to be able to talk to your sister all the way over there on the other coast. Okay, because without it, baby, talking to your sister from the East Coast over there to the West Coast, baby, them phone calls couldn't add up. Baby, it used to be probably like $3.47 a minute. That's how serious long distance calls were back in the day. But I never knew that it was such a device. And what would happen is the person who you're calling would pick up the phone, he would push the button, and automatically those long distance charges would be charged to their phone, not his phone. Ooh, the shenanigans of the Ickety Ike. In my studio, I had a booking agency named Sputnik. This guy was running my booking agency because he didn't have no money. That mother, he was doing a good job and he was using this blue box, but they made a gadget that could trace the blue box. While we were out of town one week, Dave, this boy, was making a phone call on the blue box, and this voice came in and told him, "Hey, we know you're using that blue box." What he should have done was stop using it. And if he had told me, I would have made him stop using it, but nobody told me shiz. So he kept using it, and they traced it to my studio. So one day I am sitting there in the studio, and in comes all these damn feds. They found the blue boxes and arrested me. I got this lawyer, Paul Caruso, who in some kind of way got me off the hook. I paid $3,000 or whatever it was, and I got out of it. At that time, there were a lot of women around in the studio. I was doing everything you could effing name. Sometimes I would be sitting mixing at the board and two girls would be under the console. Girl, okay, wait. Okay, so this is what we're not going to do. We're not going to read porn. I'm going to break it down real simple and not as hedonistic it as Ike is. He's talking about all these sexual shenanigans that he had going on in the studio. I could believe it. He was talking about this friend that he had. And the friend would be right there looking at Ike, you know, having all these magical situations going on with two girls under the mixing table and they enjoying him and he enjoying them. Blank if you know what I'm saying. The guy was like, boy. He was looking at Ike enviously. He had a birthday coming up. Ike said that he was going to allow his friend to indulge in the pleasures of the whole Ike Turner ambiance. One day the dude come over. Ike say, these three girls, here goes some candy. These three girls is the candy. Welcome to Candy Land. And the girls commencing to perform on the man, right? But the man, he can't really grow to his full potential because he's never been in a situation like this before. He noticed that a girl was assisting him to grow to his full potential. And I thought it was funny to be like, hey man, when I come past the car dealership, you think I can get a loan? The guy had lost his potential, okay? And he just found it funny. I concedes that he is oversexed and that there was no way Tina alone could have kept him satisfied. Despite his excesses, he still managed to maintain the loyalty of the women closest to him. Yet because of the drugs, he would lose them all. I love sex. I love pretty girls. And I love honesty and sex without games. Isn't that funny coming from a fucking Scorpio? I respect a woman to be just herself. If she's a whore and she is asked that, just be honest about it. If she is a groupie and admits it, without me even asking her, well, I respect that too. Her being whatever she is wouldn't change my intentions one way or the other. I can admire and respect this kind of people. My special women at the time were Ann Thomas, Tina, Rhonda, and Ann Kane. Those were like my women, and Tina was the woman. By about 1974, my nose got effed up really bad. I burned this hole through my nose. Somebody told me you could smoke cocaine so your nose wouldn't get sore. You get the same effect. Okay, so now I understand why those people that had the money to do the booger sugar eventually turned to FreeBase. Because I'm saying to myself, why the hell would Richard Pryor turn to FreeBase? He got the money. Marvin Gaye, you got the money. The connotation of smoking cocaine opposed to snorting cocaine is so negative because you automatically think about crackheads, crack rock, you know, it's the cheap man drug. And now I understand why those who had money chose to smoke it because they was burning holes in their noses. Okay, I got it. Somebody told me you could smoke cocaine so your nose wouldn't get sore. You get the same effect. I thought they meant put it in cigarettes and smoke it. So I went and bought about a kilo of booger sugar, sifted it, and filled up the cigarette with it. Don't get the wrong idea. Tina never did no cocaine, even though she was sometimes high without knowing it. We were sifting a whole kilo and she was sitting in the dust. She had to get high. She was sitting there laughing, but she wasn't even aware that she was high. God, you are a ninja for that. That's your boo. As you put it, that was the woman. The woman, get your ass upstairs. Get the hell out of all this drug smoke. But smoking cocaine in a cigarette don't do nothing but make you horny. That's when I found out that's not what they were talking about. They were talking about freebasing. I paid a guy $2,000 to come down from San Francisco to show me how to make FreeBase. He taught me how to make it out of ether and drops. Ether and drops. What the hell? I ain't never sat there and watched nobody cook it. And if they was in there cooking it, I wasn't paying attention to it. Okay? All I ever saw was baking soda. Man, I liked FreeBase because you took a hit off that and it would last you a couple of hours or something. When I first started taking it, I thought, man, this is the lick. Snorting it, you had to be doing it every few minutes. But with this shit, you didn't have to do it that often. That was the beginning of the FreeBase shiz. Then it stopped lasting 2 or 3 hours just as often as you would sniff on cocaine. That's how often you would be putting that fucking pipe in your mouth. Same difference. On top of that, the high didn't last no time with this FreeBase. But man, it's addictive. If you got people around you, you could smoke up to $2,000, $3,000 worth a night. And that ain't shiz. And that's what I did. I had a lot of folks around me. More people in my studio than in any club in LA. I had the stuff there free and they were stealing it anyway. Told you. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that? Because I'm like, if you just got the book of the sugar sitting on top of the table, how many people you think is not going to take the opportunity to pour that shit in a sandwich bag and go home with it? I had a lot of folks around me, more people in my studio than in any club in LA. I had the stuff there free and they were stealing it anyway. If you looking for girls, it's at Bollock. If you looking for dope, it's at Bollock. And it's free. So why wouldn't they be there? Right now, I wish I knew where there was a Bollock so I could go get the girls. They can have the dope. Just give me the girls. This old mother hunch, you can't stay away from the hoe. So the situation that happened with Richard Pryor, where he set himself on fire, where he was lunching, panicking and poured, I don't know what he poured all over himself. I can't really remember. But the way Ike breaks it down is it's very easy to catch yourself on fire. It's easy to catch your whole house and family on fire when you're smoking that shiz. Because he was saying that some people would use a lighter, some people would use a mini torch. He said he would use this thing called a soldering iron. And he said he done burned himself one too many times while hitting the pipe. Tina said, my personality changed, but my personality didn't change. What it was, man, was that when I'd been up for 6 nights with no sleep, I was more irritable. I was more edgy. You could piss me off quicker. That's why he said that it was the drugs that made her leave. So the fact that you becoming this nasty, irritable, easily irritated person, I won't want to be around you either. Like, I believe that Ike and Tina had a lot of fun together, and as long as she played that game, and I'm going to explain to you about the game later, but as long as she played that game, it was a lot of fun. But now that he has become an asshole, she don't want to play no more. Oh, you get on my nerves. Ugh. What it was, man, was that when I'd been up for 6 nights with no sleep, I was more irritable. I was more edgy. You could piss me off quicker. I feel that I was just like I am now. The difference in me now is that I don't talk about what I'm going to do. I just do it. When I was doing cocaine, I would sit up and philosophize and procrastinate. I would talk about what I was going to do, but I wouldn't do shiz. I'd work on one record for 2 months. At first, the song would sound like a smash hit. Then the next day, I'd change all of it. It didn't matter because there was always a bunch of people with me tagging along for free cocaine. I had a lot of freeloaders who were always around me saying, Ike, I love you. Ike, I really love you. I was giving away mink coats. Somebody came by with chinchillas and minks, and I would give them 3 or 4 ounces of cocaine for 5 or 6 or 7 of them, and all kinds of dresses for women and things. They would come around and I would just give them 4 ounces of coke and I'd take whatever they had. What? That's a dealer. You dealing drugs, because that's what it's called, the bartering system. Ickety Ikety. That's what you're doing. You bartering. The addicts would steal from wherever they could. I mean, they still do it. They call boosters. So the boosters is going to Ike house to get their fix. Oh my God, this ninja was, he was eventually a drug dealer. They would come around and I would just give them 4 ounces of coke and I'd take whatever they had. Diamonds. I didn't care what it was. I would just give them what they wanted. And then I would take the mink or whatever and just give it away. Just stupid, man. I gave away 3 fortunes. It was an experience. I don't regret it, but I wouldn't do it again. Tina ain't got no mind for no business. She ain't never been around business. As long as Tina can go shopping, she don't care nothing about no money. I know that for a fact. She bought 125 pairs of shoes in one store. I would go to Hong Kong and I would buy $10,000 worth of hair. For who? For her or for you? It was like buying $100,000 worth of hair in the States. It was her hair. She paid for it. Okay, it was for her. She's not the type who checks her finances. She never knew if she had $100,000 in the bank or whether she got $100 million. She doesn't care about that as long as she can go shopping. She's always been like that. She's lying about not having her own money. She would come down to the studio and I would give her $20,000 and Thomas $10,000 to go shopping. She's not having her own. If she had her own money, she wouldn't have to go to you to get the money. See, the way people think sometimes be knocking me out because that's not her money. It might be her money, but she has to ask you for her money. I mean, granted, like I want to go shopping. Okay, here you go. I don't care if you was dropping $2 million on her when she said, I want to go shopping. Okay, here go $2 million. $2 million is a lot of money, but I don't want to go through nobody to ask them for what's supposedly mine. I work for this money. You need to set up a little account for me. Shit, I want to be in charge of my own money. We went to Paris, France. I gave her $80,000 and she went shopping. She was gone an hour and a half and still owed $15,000 at the store. What does she mean I didn't give her no money? I think that is the way she feels because when she started writing songs, she said, Ike put me on salary as a songwriter so I can have my own money every week. If she wanted to run away from him, she would have to ask him, can I have the money to run away from you? You know what I'm saying? Like Ike doesn't get that. After she learned how to write songs, I put her on salary. I gave her the $400 a month we give the songwriters. What? $400? You want to equate me with a regular songwriter when I'm writing and singing the goddamn song? I give luncheon. $100 ain't going to buy shit. The dresses she wears cost $100 to $10,000. So what good is $100? Yeah, what good is $100? Why would you even give her just $100? What the fuck? Where's her singing, writing, and dancing fee? To her, that $100 felt like she earned it. If I give her $200,000 to go shopping, it meant nothing because she didn't feel she earned it. I don't know about that. That's what I believe you didn't put in your own mind, Ike. It was greatly to Ike's advantage that Tina spent so much money on clothes during the androgynous period of the early 1970s. Back then, he didn't bother to buy clothes. He was small enough to fit into hers. Now, what did y'all say about Ike Turner being, what, 5'9", and he can fit anime clothes? Come on, y'all lunching. Who was that? I forget, my baby dad said it downstairs or down in the comments. If he could fit the same clothes as little Ann, and you trying to tell me that Ike Turner is 5'9", come on, girl. Get somebody else to do it. In the case of life imitating art, the climax of Ike and Tina's show was Otis Redding's I've Been Loving You Too Long. Their version, however, suggested anything but that. In fact, it was so hot that it was banned in Australia. We went to Vienna, where we were supposed to do TV. They had seen us doing I've Been Loving You in London, and when we landed, man, they would not let us go on television.
Hollywood people, Hollywood people. Lovely wife and life, baby Carrie. No all the stars that go, the sands of gold, but it is in Hollywood people.